So, how have you been getting on this week?
Yeah, been a bit of a mixed week, I think, this week. So I've done some stuff and I've thought, oh my God, it looks like a child's done it. But I guess that's expected, isn't it? Because you're experimenting, and essentially what I'm doing is a sketchbook. I'm not producing finished piece of work, I wouldn't say. It's all experimentation. And in my sketchbook, if you look through my sketchbook, that is what it's like. It's like, oh, I quite like that one. And then the rest is complete pants. And then you get another one that you like.
Yeah, it's like an Aladdin's cave, a sketchbook.
Yeah,
Full of rubbish, and then there's a gem thrown in there somewhere. Yeah.
exactly. And that's what, if you look through, um, amazes me. You look through some sketchbooks, sketchbook tours, and you think, oh my God, they're so good. Every page is good. Mine don't look like that. Do yours?
Well, no, but I would say that they probably think the same about their own.
Or they've got, which I was reading in a book yesterday, that some people have a crappy sketchbook and a good sketchbook. And the good sketchbook will be the one they're happy to show you, and the crappy sketchbook will be the. Yeah.
Well, also you'll notice some sketchbook flip throughs as well. They have tags. And it's where they've got they'll have a tag sticking out the top of the book.
Yeah.
Or they have several, and then they open them up at that page and then that page. And it's either that they've been drawing their husbands naked or whatever, or their wives, or they're just sketches they're not happy with in between. And that's totally normal. That is normal, And, I think that's what a sketchbook's all about, isn't it? But you don't have to share everything. But what I found interesting about this week with you, because obviously I'm following you and everything you're doing, and what I found really interesting is one of the things you said you would be doing certainly in week one was looking at other artists and getting inspiration from them.
Yeah.
And I think this week you did look at Wassily Kandinsky as well, didn't you?
Like I did a little sketch.
Yeah. And I love that. But so the idea was you looked at other people. But what I found really interesting actually is that in a lot of your videos you've been saying, I've been looking back at my old sketchbooks. And I think that's great, because what that tells or should tell you is that you've already got what you're looking for amongst all of your stuff. It's just trying to round all the bits up that you like about what you already do and put it into one. I think I think that's good. If you were just never happy with anything you did and you were never inspired by your own work, then I think you'd be further away from the goal you're looking at.
Yeah, I think some of that work as well was probably inspired by some of those people on my board.
Well,
in the sketchbook, yeah.
Yeah, but it's still your stuff. It's your take on it, and
Yeah, and also, I guess what I'm struggling with next is where do I go from here? Because I had this plan, as you know, I had all the notes and what was going to be week one, what was going to be, and it doesn't really, like last week was going to be all mark making,
and found tools, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and I did a tiny bit of that, but then you kind of something pulls you different direction.
But that's a good thing, though, isn't it? I mean, you've got this plan, and it's really good to write a plan of what you've got to do. And then if it takes you in a different direction, then that's what you should be doing.
Yeah.
A plan is there just to you've got one. Yeah, well, it's so you've got one. If you can't think of what to do, you've got it there. But if it takes you elsewhere, it doesn't matter. It's if you didn't have the plan, you wouldn't have it to veer away from, would you?
No, and I must admit, because next week, what I was planning to do, or what I think I still am planning to do, is explore mediums and media, and maybe even get acrylic paints out again, which, I have this problem with them.
Yeah. And it's funny because there's so much. I mean, I use oils. That's messy. Acrylics are easy. You just wash your brushes and go.
But you just don't know how easily I can get covered in paint. I can get my whole office covered.
I'm the same with oil
paint.
Yeah.
And it's just that it's like, ooh, I've actually ordered some latex gloves. So I might do painting, but I might explore media. And there's something I saw the other day. I actually created in our Pinterest boards under the find your why did I call it this?
Find your art style experiment, yeah.
Yeah, I put a board which was non-face. I don't know if you've seen this, non-face inspiration. And there's a few things in there, like there's quite a lot of urban sketching actually. But I thought some of that, I might even take little elements of that and pull it in. 'Cause it doesn't have to be face inspiration, does it?
Oh, no.
No. But also, I think on Monday, what I'm going to do is go through the work I've done so far and maybe write a few notes about what I like about it. And then maybe pick one piece, realise what I like about it, and then maybe just develop that and try different mediums on that and then start the next one if I think it's not working or whatever.
Because you do quite a lot of mixed media stuff, don't you? And it's funny because I always think most artists tend to settle on a medium of sorts, don't they, at some point?
Yeah.
We all try them all. I used to have every single medium known to man, and then one day I just thought, why have I got pastels? I'm never going to use pastels. I hate the feel of them on my hands.
Yeah.
And charcoal, I just can't bear the powdery. I can't stand it. I'd much rather have paint all over me than pastel powder.
Yeah.
And so, but it's interesting because you kind of quite often use a bit of everything in yours, which is great.
Yeah.
Not everything, but you know.
But it's bad as
go,
well.
I'm just going to work over this with this, and it's fantastic. It's great.
Yeah, but I think also that's a case of not knowing where I am. It's still been in that experimentation phase because I would like to almost get to the point where you are, where that's my medium.
Yeah, there's a definite. It's. I suppose it's about comfort zone, isn't it? I mean, I'm in my sketchbook, as you know. I'm also kind of thinking, right, I need to have a style of sketching because I don't have a style. I have a very, very. I'm very comfortable with the style of painting I have. No intention of trying to change that at all. If it evolves, it evolves. But I'm not trying anything. I'm just doing what I do. In my sketchbook, it's different though, and I've had to evolve because now we do, don't we? Together, we go out and we do a bit of sketching from life. So we have to evolve our sketching to be able to do it quite quickly. But I find that in my sketchbook, say, for instance, I've been trying watercolour recently. I used to do watercolour years ago before I started with oils. And, I didn't mind them. But it's strange because obviously as a realism painter, I'm quite methodical about it. You can't be like that with watercolor. And what I'm finding is switching from one brain to the other is very difficult. So I did a building yesterday and I thought I'm going to use some watercolor. And I did some watercolor. I thought, oh my God, it's absolutely awful. And I think what I need to do is instead of doing what I would normally do with oils, I need to just splosh it on and learn from people like Felix Scheinberger, is it Schneisberger?
Scheinberger.
I don't know, Ian Fennelly, that kind of where you just kind of splash it on and let the paint do the work. I know that's what you're supposed to do, but it's hard going from a realism oil painter to a sketchbook where I normally just use pen and ink, using a different kind of paint. So yes, I know what you mean. It is lovely to go back to oils and think, very comfortable with this.
I'm home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was going to say, you're building, by the way. Did you try the thing I suggested where holding your pencil further up or pen, or did you try anything like that?
Not yet.
Chicken.
Do you know what I love? Do you know what I've realised I love about? The only thing I love about urban sketching buildings is finding somewhere with loads of wires, telephone wires. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
It's really weird. I did a little page of a building, like buildings, and I most loved about the whole thing just the wires everywhere.
Okay, here's an idea. Why not just concentrate on the top section with the wires? Or draw the lines of the house, like instead of draw those as though they're wires, so they've got a curve to them. So, when you get your roof.
First option. I like the first suggestion.
Okay.
Tell me, go back to you. What is your, at the moment, if somebody said, out of everything you try at the moment, what is your favourite? What is your at this time?
I don't know.
Oh, really?
What, my favourite medium?
Yeah.
Well, my favourite medium would be, and this is very comfort zone again, but it's more because I really enjoy sitting just on the couch with a sketchbook, and so that's not
I thought you were
really.
going to end at couch then.
That's like my friend talking about she's doing couch to 5K, and she says, I much prefer the couch bit. But anyway, yeah, I do like sitting on the couch very much. But when you sitting like that, you're not going to get acrylic paints out. You're not going to get a dip pen out because it's going to be all over the sofa. So then I'll sit with those, those fine linery ones. The one I gave you one of, they're quite the thicker ones. I can't remember what they're called. What are they called?
The brush pens?
No.
Japanese brush. Oh, no. The chunky marker.
No. The thicker, those fine line, but they were thicker.
Oh, yes. They almost got a felt tip.
Yes.
I know which one you mean. Yeah. I can't remember what they're called, but yeah.
No, but those. I really like those, and then putting water on it with a water brush. So that is like, and weirdly enough, I was looking through Instagram last night for which were my sort of most popular posts, which had like 3 instead of 2 likes, and the one of the ones that got quite a few was a real squiggly loose noodle. Sherlock's intervening.
Sherlock, somebody's just turned up.
Oh no! Have you got to go?
Okay, I wonder if anyone noticed that minor interruption we had there. I'm really hoping your editing skills are going to be good enough that you can just knit them together and no one's going to have a clue.
I don't think they'll notice at all. What are we talking about anyway?
I think you were talking about your not fine liner pens, those little felt tippy kind of pens that you you enjoy using your water brush with.
So if you're saying what's my go-to medium, it would be sitting with a sketchbook with one of those pens and just doodling in my sketchbook. Yeah.
Without colour?
Yeah, without colour.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I have two. I think I have 2 sides. It's probably like you with your really dark painting and your white side. So I really like black and white. Yeah, but then if I'm going colour, I'm going full on colour.
Yeah, so there's no in between, is there?
There's no in between.
So, I, like you say, my paintings, I've got 2 kind of, I've got the dark side and I've got the light side, and I've always said it's because I'm a Gemini. So what I was going to ask you as well was, have you got because I asked you last week, didn't I? Yeah. Have you got a favourite piece that you made this week?
You already asked me this earlier.
No, I didn't. No.
Didn't you?
I haven't asked you that today. So have you got a favourite piece that you've made this week? I think I've got one that you made this week.
I can't remember which I made. No, because I've got a favourite bit stuff I made last week. Right. No. I
really like that you did a girl with. Oh, I think that might be it on your desk. The one on the right, the cropped hair and the glasses. Yeah, I love that one. The one on the right. Actually, I like them both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them both.
It's really weird because they don't feel like me, which is a strange thing to say.
Yeah.
And I've realised as well what I don't do and what I need to think about, I think, is there is nothing going on behind these.
Oh, I know, yeah.
So do they need something going on behind them? Because they're a bit floating in nothing. It's almost like... No, I know at the moment it's just a sketch to try and establish kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that if I develop this more, maybe I need to think about words or collage or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just some kind of context.
Yeah.
To put them in a setting.
Scene or something.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a real subtle suggestion, maybe in grey or, just doesn't have to be much. But
you could look at each one and think, right, because sometimes when I do a sketch and I think, what is this person? Sometimes I name them, I think, oh, this looks like a Fred. And he's going to be a really grumpy and he might have a think bubble or something, Sometimes I've drawn, because I love drawing old people. And I love drawing them, from reference where you get like them holding hands or something. I love that. And in the past, I've always imagined what conversation that couple would be having. So I'd put the speech bubbles and things like that. It just makes, it's like a little scenario. And I think that's how my imagination works. maybe you could look at if you want to try and think about a setting, you could look at your people and think, okay, well, she looks like somebody who would work in a cafe. Maybe she could be serving someone coffee, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything that can give you an idea for a scenario. If you need,
Maybe, yeah. What got me thinking, I'm going to tell you something really stupid now, is you talking about naming them. And
yeah,
I remember naming things as a kid. I used to give things really bizarre names, all my dolls and stuff. And I actually was obviously ahead of my time because I think I called one of my dolls Lala. And isn't that, it's not a Teletubby.
I've heard that kids call something else Lalas, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, one was called Lala, one was called Haywin. Haywin? And then
Bonzo. I had a teddy called Bonzo.
Did you?
Like a blue and white thing, yeah.
I wanted to call, I shouldn't say this on YouTube, I wanted to call one of my dolls Titty. But my mum wouldn't let me. I don't know why.
Can't imagine. Well, maybe not Titty. Maybe one of your, I don't know. When I look at,
I might get the wrong sort of viewers for that, mightn't I? Yeah.
Yeah, the viewer numbers would probably go sky high. No, maybe if you think you need a scenario, that all I'm saying is it might just be an idea of, rather than sitting there thinking, right, what can they be doing?
Yeah.
Start by thinking about what kind of person they look like to you. And if they look like that kind of person, what might they be called and what job might they do?
Okay, what's she called? Because you like her.
I like her.
So what's she called?
Well, I don't know what she's called, but I can see her kind of behind she's American, I think. She's definitely American. And she works in one of those sort of, we don't have them over here, but there's roadside cafes serving like coffee, I think. Serving a guy coffee or a waitress.
Yeah, she's an art director or a fashion. Maybe a fashion.
Gallery curator.
I think she's called Lucy with an I.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think the other one looks a bit like me.
No, a mouth wouldn't be able to stay still if it was straight.
It would just be a big blur.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe this week then, perhaps you could think about scenarios if you feel like that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
On.
Maybe scenarios, mediums, what goes on around them. But also I say on Monday, I think I'm going to go through everything, work out what I like, and maybe take one piece at a time and think, okay, what can I do with that?
Yeah.
So for example, there's a bit, I don't know if you see that, you know, the guy with the yellow, can you see that?
Yeah. That's one you did in the first week,
yeah,
isn't it?
It's like, I could perhaps explore that as a theme of the real and the not real maybe, and stuff like that. So
in any way that I look at any of your things, I mean, I know you're saying that, you know, that doesn't look like me or doesn't feel like me, but
feel like me, no, these.
Yeah, but weirdly, whether you can see it or not, absolutely everything I see there is a style. It is all fitting together.
But it's not
really genuinely do. And whether or not, okay, some of them are different, like your doodles that you do when you've got no reference and there might be a dog in there. But there's still a background element to it that is in the other ones that are more, you know, the big eyes with the orange. I can still see that that's the same artist. So sometimes you're blind to your own style, but I actually really think you already had one, but I think it's even stronger. It's getting stronger now than it was, because every time I see something, I think you can so see that that's your drawing.
Yeah, but I think it's still, if I want to be marketable, I know we haven't really talked about this, have we? But if I want to be a marketable artist, not marketable by me, I don't mean like anything else, but if I wanted to sell my work, the same person wouldn't necessarily like the bright orange who might like a black and white, very stark.
It's the same for anyone though, isn't it? I mean, if you look at my paintings, you know, if you look at, say, as an example, my hand I did holding the whiskey glass, the really dark, moody, almost masculine feel to this painting.
Yeah.
Wouldn't, you know, a person who would want that would not particularly maybe like a painting I did of some bright, colourful marbles.
No, but I think they still have an underlying that the reflective, they still have underlying.
That's what I mean. I'm looking at yours thinking there is an underlying style.
I don't think there
Yeah, there is. I'll tell you what, I'd love anybody who's watching this video, I think that they should leave a comment underneath and you know, what do you think? What do you think? What do
And
you
I
think?
want to know what they think this woman's name is.
And what they
and
do.
What does she do?
All right, then what we'll do is we'll catch up at the end of next week and see how you got on.
Okay, see you then.
See you later. Bye. Let me just stop recording.
Was Titty going too far?
Well, not about, probably about as far as the la.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get updates on what's happening with the Find Your Art Style experiment. We also create a video every Sunday called Art Kick Sunday, so make sure you check out that playlist too.